All right, guys, so this behind me is the brand new Lucid Air, and today we're gonna take a look at it. All right, guys, so this is Derek, and he is head of, I guess, the VP Design?
VP of Design,
VP of Design. And so he's gonna give us a walk around of the Lucid Air. So I'm gonna let him do his thing. I'm gonna get out of the way, and I hope you guys enjoy.
All right, come on in. We're gonna take a look at the 2021 Lucid Air Dream Edition. So this is our launch edition of the car, and it's got a lot of special features. We're gonna start at the front of the car and talk a little bit about the face of the vehicle. As you can see, we have this very unique light blade across the front with our logo in place. We're going to have the slimmest lighting aperture of any production vehicle when this hits the road, and this is made possible by our micro lens array technology. You can see there's 7 modules across here, and these are incredibly compact, about 25 millimeters or an inch high, and they're hundreds of tiny lenses rather than one large lens. And then here we have our high beam module, very bright and very efficient and very compact. As we come across the nose here, we have our front camera. This is where our LiDAR is placed through the middle, very elegant and integrated. So in addition to the air intake for the motor and batteries, we also have very subtle venting around the front of the vehicle. I mentioned our lighting. Above the lighting is a small slot. And, you know, like any kind of lighting technology, it does get warm, so the air flows in here, relieving high pressure turbulence, cools the lighting, and exits right out the top. So it serves both purposes. A total form follows function, and it also is very efficient aerodynamically. Also, as high pressure air comes around the front of the corner, we've applied this vent here, which is also our side light indicator. And if this wasn't here, the air would come around the side and create turbulence. A small amount of air can stay in here and create a low pressure here, keeping the flow smooth around the front of the car. And that's super important because we need this flow to be clean, so it goes down the side of the car cleanly and off the back of the car, leaving as minimal of wake and turbulence as possible. That's how we achieve this high, super efficient coefficient of drag. As we come down the side of the car, you know, we've really tried to maintain this feeling of very clean elements to the car. The car really has with just one single line down the car. The rest of the surfaces are very fluid, almost liquid-like, kept the body side super clean. And then we're really proud of these aluminum finishes across the top of the canopy. These are actual aluminum panels and finished in our satin finish. This will also be available in 2 different finishes. The other finish is more of a stealth look, which is a little bit more smoked out. Right there you see our limited edition side badging for the Dream. Completely flush door handles through the side of the car.
And what color is this?
So this is a limited color just for the launch edition. We call it Eureka Gold. And we developed this just for the Dream Edition launch.
Yeah, that's a beautiful color.
Thank you. We'll also offer Dream Edition in two additional colors, Stellar White and Infinite Black. And it'll just be those 3 colors for the initial launch of Lucid Air. And then later on, we will offer a graphite, a red, and a silver to the palette. The gold is the only one that's completely limited and will stop after the Dream Edition finishes. Around the back of the car, we've kept everything super clean. This is a one-piece taillight from side to side. No cut lines down the middle. You think most cars have shut lines that come down and cuts the taillight. This is the largest single-piece taillight in the industry right now. We've got a really low loading point for cargo. And in a minute, I'll show you the trunk opening.
Yeah, because it looks like this is all one piece right here.
That's correct, yeah. So the whole trunk opens all the way around, lifts, so you end up with this really wide opening.
Really cool.
So should we transition to the vehicle? I'll tell you a little bit about our vehicle application. So with Lucid Air, we'll have a vehicle app, and we use this app to check charge status. We can also set charge limits. And so like if I'm charging in my garage, or if I'm at an Electrify America charge station, I can monitor my charge status with this. In addition to that, we can also pre-plan trip routes here. So for example, if I want to set a trip and go to Malibu, I could do this the night before, find the location, set the location, send a vehicle. And so now the car already knows that I've set that trip, and that'll come up in the car once I get in the vehicle. So I don't need to mess with that while I'm driving. In addition to that, it'll make recommendations for charge locations along your route. So let's take a look inside the car. We're going to open doors remotely.
All right, you guys, so we're gonna check out the inside of this Lucid Air. Now, first of all, right when you get in, you can see a little bit of the ambient lighting located here. You've got this beautiful wood finish here. It's got this matte finish to it. It looks incredible. Obviously your window switches. You've got this sort of vinyl here, and then you've got this Alcantara coming all through here. You're gonna have leather up here, and you've got this really nice, I wanna say maybe it's like an aluminum accent coming up here, but just the whole material choices on the door are very nice. Interestingly enough, you do have your door switch here. I'm not gonna do it right now, but you basically put your finger there and pull straight back, and that's what's going to open and close the door. And then obviously your storage pockets down here are pretty huge, because if you guys can tell, there's no noticeable speaker here in the door. That's probably gonna be put somewhere else within the car. Now, as we get in, let's see, geez. So one thing you do notice is this roof line right here is kind of low, but once you're in here, the headroom is actually pretty good. And the windshield on here is absolutely insane. It goes literally all the way back, and it is quite the experience, quite the view. And it's interesting because you still have your sun visors up here, your vanity mirrors, but they're kind of attached to the windshield, which is neat. And then you guys can obviously see this huge ambient lighting strip coming all up here, and it is so cool looking.
You guys are comfortable, right?
So now we're in the cockpit, and I have two ways to log in. I can do through my normal facial recognition. We have facial recognition cameras right down below here. So it already knows I'm coming and that it's me, but it wants to confirm that it's me. So we can either do facial recognition, or we can also do manual. And so we can do it that way. I think that's me. So the vehicle starts up, and this is a beta, so we're still working through several generations. But now you see the full display. So let me explain to you a little bit about our display. First of all, we have this incredible 33-inch curved display, which is totally unique in the industry. Nobody else has that. We wanted to move away from just the typical rectangular screens up above. This is a compound curve, so it's swept here to optimize view to the driver, and swept here to optimize view to the driver. To the left here, we have all of our window locks, our charge port, door locks, wiper controls, and lighting controls. Pretty much all the things that normally exist on that side of the car, right?
Crazy.
Here is all of our drive functions. So we got our speed, our power, up to the minute vehicle information, warning lights, odometer, charge status. Here is kind of more your just general information, right? So there's my trip to Malibu, so I can activate that, launch the nav. We also have some of the recently played things. So this is meant to be the screen you use most of the time. If I go to music, we transfer over. All my immediate last played, Bluetooth, Spotify is all here. But if I want to go deep dive, swipes down and opens down below. Now we open up the full suite of all your music. And this is really easy to use. We have all the information up above. When I'm done there, goes back up, we're good to go. Same thing on phone and navigation. So when I go to phone, I have my contacts up here, but let's say I want to actually type in a phone number. then I go down below, I get the big pad down below, which doing that up here is never going to be too much fun. And then when we come down below here, we have kind of our general vehicle settings. And so if our home page is going to be what we call quick controls. There you have your drive modes for comfort, range, sport, and track. We have our adjustments for steering wheel, mirrors, opening for front and trunk. We can also go to more specifics for all the door openings, check energy status and consumption.
That is the coolest, like, energy.
I love this kind of plasma effect.
Oh,
right?
that's so cool.
I love this.
Are you able to see that out there, dude?
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
I can schedule a charge at Electrify America location if I like. We also have this great ambient lighting. So it's not on right now, but I'll be able to select from 4 different lighting themes. Escape, let's see if this is swiping, and velocity, and inspire. It's a little slow this morning. And so what's great about this is I can adjust my light settings, and that will also adjust my ambient light on the screen, so there's a harmony with all the lighting throughout the vehicle. We'll go back to quick controls. And so that's the general settings. If we go to our climate control settings, really excited about this because we have our heaters and cooling. We can also adjust temperature here, or we can come up here and do a manual adjustment for temp or speed, and that pops up here. Sometimes you just want to like quickly put the fan up and you don't want to get into this. Same thing for even volume. We can adjust our volume here real quick. I can also adjust the volume on this toggle as well.
And it sounded like that had a pretty solid.
Yeah, it's got a really nice detent, and we're still refining that. But that's, this balance of digital interface versus tactile interface is super important. There's a reason why your phone still has buttons on it. And for certain functionality, because you want to be able to get to it quickly.
So now as you come to this side, you can get a better look at how that curved screen works. And over here off to the side, you're gonna have like a touchscreen area. Right down here, you're gonna have another touchscreen to control like climate functions, seating functions, and this can actually fold back, which is very, very cool. Now this is technically a beta vehicle, so I won't be able to show you 100% of everything, but just know that everything you're seeing is pretty much 95% what it's going to look like in full production. So that's really exciting. Now right here, you do have a nice little area which has this nice wood finish on it. Feels really good. You fold that back, you're gonna have cup holders, induction charging located down there, and obviously pretty deep storage space. Now as we come over here, you guys can get a look here on the dash, which you have more of just that beautiful Alcantara up here. You're gonna have some leather, some like white piping and stitching going right there. You've got more of that wood coming here, and then you also have more physical buttons for like temperature, fan speed, and it is nice to still have those physical tactile knobs, which I am glad that they integrated into here. Now, moving over here, I do like this little detail, how it says Lucid right here. More of just that vinyl finish right underneath here where the glove box would be. And look at this carpeting. This is just so nice. You even have leather surrounding the outside of the carpets here, and it's gonna say Air in cursive right over here. And these are really soft carpets, so that's pretty cool for sure. And I just think the front design is pretty neat, but let's go ahead and check out the back seat. All right, so getting into the back of the Lucid Air. Now, there are going to be 2 versions of this vehicle. So right now we have the pretty standard version, which means you don't get the super crazy seats that lean all the way back. At that point, you'll basically be looking up at this roof, and it'll be a really cool experience. But sitting back here, it's super open, and one thing I did notice is the floor is a little high. So you do kind of have a little knee up sort of seating style, but it is pretty spacious, so I can stretch my legs out, as you guys can see here. I unfortunately won't be able to put my feet like under the seat here, but I have enough room to where I can still spread out, lean backwards, and the seats are at a pretty good angle, so that way I've got a little bit more headroom. Now speaking of headroom, I'm 6 feet tall, I've got massive hair, and above me I probably have about an inch and a half above me, and that's pretty good. Now obviously having this glass roof helps a lot, but I'm telling you guys, the view from back here is stunning. It is just beautiful back here. Really cool. And you've got a lot of different materials that continue on back here. So you've got more of that vinyl here. You're gonna have some leather here. It's gonna say Lucid here. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a little California Republic bear right there. just because this is a California company, so it makes sense to have that kind of feature in here. And one thing you may notice is there's a two-tone interior. So you've got the darker gray up here, which gives you like a sportier kind of feel. And then as you sit back here, you're really just meant to relax in the back seat. You're not driving, you don't have to worry about anything on the road. So having this lighter color creates a little bit more of a relaxing and just lighthearted feel back here. So I do like that. Now you're gonna have climate controls located here, a little bit of extra storage space, obviously storage space right back here. And one thing that's pretty cool is you're gonna have this area back here that says Lucid. And it's just a nice touch. You have that on basically every seat. And I just thought it was pretty cool. But it's pretty much gonna wrap up the back, you guys. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the car.
So the other thing we're really proud of with Lucid Air is because it's electric and because our technology is very compact, the battery, the motor, controller, all of these items are very compact. We're able to optimize the interior space of the car, but also the cargo space in the front. This is going to be the largest front cargo area of any vehicle when this comes to market. So it's a double decker. We have small storage on the outside for small items. You can store on top here if you like, or you just simply flip this up and back and you get the full cargo experience down below. Let me give you a little light here. Yeah, so that's a big deal. And then let's move our way back to the trunk area. So what's unique here is because of the side opening, we get this incredibly wide and low loading area for large items. And that'll go all the way back and it will do the 60-40 split. We've even tried, you can fit a 6'5" surfboard back here without even touching the front seats, which is really, really cool. This also has a double decker. So you have deep cargo storage here. And then the cover acts as a cargo retainer. So I could put items back there, groceries, and that will hold it in place. And if you still need more space, we can push this forward and utilize both this and this simultaneously.
All right, guys, so here is the juicy part. So this is going to be the architecture underneath that Lucid Air. So let's start with the battery. This is a 113 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. And this is gonna be a 900 volt architecture. So you got the Tesla doing about a 400 volt architecture. You've got the Taycan doing 800. So this is even more than that. So what that means, at least in terms of charging capabilities, you can get about 300 miles of range in this in about 20 minutes at its peak charging rates. Now let's talk about the motor setup. So this is gonna be a dual motor, so one on each axle, obviously making this all-wheel drive. And this is gonna make a total of about 1,000 horsepower, which is wild. So this will do the quarter mile in under 10 seconds. Like, that is astonishing for a vehicle that is really just meant to be luxurious. And just everything about it is so cool. And make sure you guys stay tuned, because I'm gonna have a video solely dedicated to the CEO talking about all this in a little bit more in depth, actually a lot more in depth. But there's one thing I want to show you to get you excited for what Lucid has later, and that's going to be this. So you already heard the specs on this. This is going to be their tri-motor setup. So this is going to be the rear motor here. You have two motors right here, and this is going to be coming a little bit later. So this would be making around 1,300 horsepower, but I don't want to finalize any of those numbers yet. And I'm super excited to see this eventually go into the Lucid, because that already is pretty impressive. So seeing this actually go into production would be just absolutely mind-blowing. But I think it's safe to say that the EV game is really stepping up, and with more companies just continuously going at it more aggressively than ever, I'm really excited to see what the future of electric cars holds. But let me know what you guys think of the new Lucid Air. Comment below. If you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.